Have we been recording? Look, it's my fin. That's fascinating. So I put on, like I had these on, I was listening to music. And I didn't realize it turned off, and I didn't realize that the camera was rolling. I'm like, you've been watching me for 3 minutes and no one's told me anything? And I'm sitting there going, yeah, because it's the ocean. And I looked over and talked to a spirit, and we were having, like, on my shelf, like one day I'll just have to do like a tour of my place so you could see what I'm talking about. Because I think that's like worthwhile, that you can actually see that I talk to spirit over on the Egyptian tablet, right? Sometimes when you see like the faces in the wall, what you see is not what's in front of it. Sometimes it's behind the fact that there's messages behind the tablet, behind, like when you flip a page in a book, right? You're reading the book and then you flip the page to read the other side, right? There's always two sides to a coin. There's always two sides to, you know, you've got the glittery side and then you've got the blue side, right? Sitting in the truck while I drive, being a protective energy. But when I was like, for that 3 minutes, I was trying to find the ocean sounds that are really relaxing, because you can tell a difference on how the water washes up on shore. If it's like the place that you want to be, right? And so I've been watching this YouTube channel. It's a specific one that's been really relaxing, and it was in my videos. And now I can't find it, even though I'm on my channel, or like this, my secondary channel, my personal channel, but still easy to find. And I'm trying to listen to this type of sound where the water that washes up on shore is super calm and super easy, right? Instead of like having this violent water. Like in my earlier videos, I was talking about like the vibration of music, like, and that's the same thing with the environment that we're living in or working in. So behind me is the YouTube channel that I found that has a very similar water sound that I'm used to, right? Where I find relaxing. And it can get violent sometimes. Because I recently went over to a friend's place, and he's like, well, where do you live? And, you know, his wife, and they travel around, which is great. So they know where I live, because they have family in Nova Scotia. I'm like, well, in Prince Rupert, Nova Scotia, right? And then everyone looks that area up, and it's like a little forgotten little area that names change there all the time, because the old is old, but there's older people there, and eventually like it gets renamed. Like it would become considered like French Village. Was there ever a French Village there? I don't know. Right? They don't teach that. No one wants you to know your own history. They don't want to know your own story. Right? But the energy on which you grew up around was like an ocean, right? But what type of vibration in that ocean is crashing on those shores, so that you can get the healing that you need. And then if you listen to it in a place where you're landlocked, like I'm in Alberta, there's no ocean. There's a drive one way, and then the drive the other way, and the other way is super long. And you're going through the Canadian Shield, and you're like, oh God, when is it going to end? Right? That's like the longest trip there. All the other provinces are fairly short. They're like, you're looking like fairly short when you're coming down midway. is going to take a very long way. So if you're going from like Fort McMurray down to Edmonton, or like, here's a better example, Fort McMurray to like Black Falls, or Red Deer, Lacombe, even further down to Calgary, right? You guys will drive that. And you're looking like a full day of driving. How exhausting, especially after you work 12, 14 hours and people were super fucking unsafe, and all you want to do is take the money and get home so that you can live your life. With the everyday danger you put your life in, right? Being around toxic gases and oil that could kill you and burn you and scald you. I've seen that. A fucking husky thermal. Shit, man. I am lucky that I didn't see anyone like lose fucking fingers or arms or like, oh my god. But it does happen on sites. You know, I've been a victim of myself, of being gassed on one of the sites by H2S, and it was kept hush hush. Because you know why? Like, people are like, oh, you could sue them. And I'm like, why? Why would I want to do that? Why would I lose that ability to learn more about something that can propel us into the right direction, where you could be employed in the best agencies in the world or working for SpaceX because you worked in a petroleum area, or gases, or you understand different things than you just going to school for it, right? You are your own school by like taking the dirty jobs. Remember that show, Dirty Jobs? I only remember his first name is Mike. So Mike, thank you for like showing people like you don't need to be like, some of these people that work in the dirty jobs are fucking geniuses. They think outside the box. That's why they get the shit done, and they like staying there. Because it's freedom. The people that take, the higher. That was me scooching, so it might have sounded like I was fighting, and I didn't. That was the chair. And my alpaca woolly. Keeps me super warm, by the way. So you know what, if you're budgeting and you're like, God, everything's really expensive, perhaps looking into finding a sheep farmer like Alpaca or like other sheep farmers in the neighborhood. I think there was one in Sherwood Park. I think so. And he had really nice hay for sale. And he had a sheep. He was a sheep farmer, or had sheep. Yeah. So look for a sheep farmer and then start, helping them out in their business because they have such amazing animals. But anyways, that was a message for someone, right? Winter, frugal, wool. Wool is where we want to be going, to be minimizing the energy, because the energy is needed for something else, right? The energy grid is for something else. It's not necessarily for your affirmation, your well-being. Like, you can be well and you can be happy with a minimal amount of things that are super fucking warm for you. I wonder if the military uses alpaca, right? You don't need a lot of it, just a thin enough, like it's thick. It's not like super thin where it's horrible. But it's thick enough that you can feel the warmth, even by having it on your body. Messages coming through to you on today's show. Host Emma, the one and only, getting messages from people that have died and other messages that are coming through that are for someone. Anyways, I only have like a few minutes left on this video, So I hope you have a really good day. Thank you for tuning in. Not everything has to be like tarot reading all the time. This is tarot reading, right? Where you can receive the messages from people that are talking to you. Your ghosts or spirits, your entities that come to the table, and they shine the light on a few topics that they want to talk about, and things come out in the open, and then you like question people's understanding about things, and you question them on how they vibrate or see things. And then it's like, what is she talking about? Right? And even talking about it, even thinking about it, even reading it, even seeing it, even listening to it, right? Even if you're like, what the fuck is she on? I'm like, I don't know. Well, maybe a little bit of ganja, maybe a little bit of just life. Each person has, maybe there's caffeine. I'm drinking caffeine in the tea. Caffeine gives you a high, gives you a boost. Right? Maybe it's a certain essential oil that heightens the smell, that you don't want to be like controlling eating. You can use peppermint to control your cravings, right? That will really help curb wanting to have the sweet stuff, okay? You can rub peppermint and orange together on your palms. I guess they want me to show you. Okay. So beauty lesson 101 is not necessarily witchcraft. So those naysayers out there, this is essential oils. I used to work for Essence Aromatherapy, right? So I know oils and essential oils, and trying to become like getting out of the oil field as a woman and trying to get into other businesses that kind of have the similar connotation of you understanding around the oil industry, right? You're pressing land, you're pressing a product, right? Whatever a peppermint is, or maybe it's an orange, a full orange. You're distilling your water, your steam distilling, you're trying to get the best essence, right, out of the plant. And that's the same thing with the oil field. You're trying to express it from the earth, right? At every better cleaner, what would hydrogen sulfide get? What would hydrogen dioxide get? What would, the caustic sodas that they fucking use to try to get the purest stuff on the earth, so that the more pure, the more money, right? So, anyways, this is besides the point. I'm trying to teach you here before the time runs out. You can put these two together on your skin, right? Some say that you need a carrier oil. If you are sensitive to, like, if you're peeling an orange, right, and you get the oils, that's this. When you're peeling oranges, you're getting that on your hands, and you constantly smell like oranges all day because you've expressed the pure oil out of that orange, and it's onto your hands. So, some people use peppermint to sniff it, to take the migraines and headaches away, and they wisp it by, and then you're breathing in at the same time, and it clears the passages. And you can put 2 and 2 together. You can put the base. If you're not too allergic, it all depends on the orange oil, right? Do you have reactions to the orange? If you're peeling an orange and you get a hand reaction, or as soon as you wash, it irritates, or what are you using as soap? But if you just peeled an orange and you just leave the oil there, because it smells really good afterwards, you're like, that smells good, right? It's citrus, it keeps you alive, it keeps you awake, it keeps you alert. The video's gonna end. Rub them together, okay? And have